You're watching Byline Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Here's your host, Don Ansell.
All right, we're back with the president of this year's 64th Annual Azalea Festival, Hank Estep, and the chair of the... Now, what year is this for the garden tour?
58.
It's the 58th year.
We must be doing something right.
For the garden tour, the Azalea Garden Tour, Gayle Ward, who has been attached to the festival and active in other capacities for years.
30 years.
I knew that, but I wanted you to say it.
I started young.
You hardly look like you could have been. What have you done for the festival in the past?
Oh, we have escorted. That's the way we began. When 30 years ago, we were asked to escort Bill and Susan Hayes on Days of Our Lives. I was an avid fan of Days of Our Lives, and I was thrilled.
And so you got involved with the festival.
Got hooked.
Give us a short, you're, of course, the Azalea Garden Tour is produced by the Cape Fear Garden Club.
Yes, it is.
This is one of your biggest projects of the year, and it raises money that goes into beautification projects. We'll talk about some of that in a minute, but give us a short history of the garden tour.
Oh, the garden tour. Like I said, this is the 58th year for our annual garden tour, and we're associated with the Azalea Festival. And we usually have 12 gardens.
How many have this year?
12.
12.
12 gardens.
Okay.
One ticket, 12 gardens.
And it's a self-guided tour, so you...
Leisurely guided tour. That one $20 ticket is good for all 3 days of our tour.
So you can do a couple one day, a couple another day.
Yes, you can. And it's also good for our ribbon cutting to open the gardens on Friday morning, 10 o'clock. This year is so special.
Tell everybody where the ribbon cutting is taking place this year and why it's so unusual.
It is taking place at the location, Greenfield Lake, where the idea of the Azalea Festival began.
Now, when you say Greenfield Lake, it's going to the ribbon cutting is going to be at the amphitheater at Greenfield Lake. So this year, people can sit down and watch the official
900
ceremonies.
Back seats.
900 seats. Well, you'll need all because you have huge crowds.
Yes, we do.
Coming out.
But I also suggest that when you do come to the garden tour, park at Legion Stadium. This is going to be so helpful to you. You don't want to walk the 5 miles around Greenfield Lake. So we have 3 free buses.
Great.
At
shuttle
Legion
buses.
State. Shuttle buses.
From Legion to amphitheater.
They will shuttle the folks to Greenfield Lake continuously.
Now you're featuring the Rotary Garden, which is sort of in front of the amphitheater. Tell us about that.
I am so proud of all the Rotarians. When I came up with the idea to have our ribbon cutting at Greenfield Lake, where the idea began for the festival, I said, okay, there's the Rotary wheel right there. It is the largest Rotary wheel in the world.
Now tell folks what a Rotary wheel
Okay, when you just look at it, you can't tell that it's a wheel. But we have aerial shots of the Rotary wheel, and you can definitely see the wheel.
And it has significance to Rotarians.
Yes, yes it does. I think there's 6 local Rotary clubs here in Wilmington.
And they maintain that area as a Rotary garden, really.
Yes, they do, and it needed some improvement. And I went to the Rotary Club and I said, look guys, we've got company coming on April the 8th, and we need to clean up a little bit.
Well, they really took that to heart.
All 6 Rotary clubs. You know, when I think of this year and our garden tour, I think of the word unity, because it has really united this community. And that's the way it was when the festival first began years ago.
Let's talk about how you choose the gardens. You have 12 gardens. Of course, one of them is the Rotary Garden, and you have 11 other gardens, really private gardens in residences. How do you go about choosing those?
I handpicked them.
You did?
Handpicked them.
Do you go around and visit and say, oh, this, or you hear about a garden?
Around. A lot of Sunday afternoons.
Do you ever get resistance from residents when you ask them to participate, as far as having crowds of people going through their property for 3 days?
Well, it's not so much that. It's garden owners put a lot of their personal money into that, and maybe they're not quite ready. Their garden is not quite ready. Maybe the front lawn, which I see when I ride by, is beautiful.
What do you do? You go up and knock, say, "Hi, I'm Gayle Ward with the Garden Club. I'd like to look at your garden." Maybe
I
put it in
have
the
done
garden.
that.
You have.
I have done that. And they're all gracious. And this year, all 12 garden owners are just wonderful.
That's great. There's a preview, a little booklet with the tickets this year. By the way, if you want any tickets for the Azalea Festival, you can go to NorthCarolinaAzaleaFestival.org, and I think we're putting that up on the screen now. NorthCarolinaAzaleaFestival.org, and you can get tickets for any of the events, except the ones that are sold out, of course. Let's talk about the bells, the Azalea Festival bells. They become an important part of the festival. How did that tradition start?
It began in 1953. We had our first garden tour. That year, there were 7 azalea bells.
And were they from high schools as they are now?
They were from our local high schools.
And they were, they're, of course, if you know the Azalea Festival, you know they're all outfitted in antebellum.
From head to toe and all underneath.
So this year, you had how many the first year?
7.
All right, this year you have how many?
128.
Wow.
We've come a long way.
I'm telling you, how do you outfit 128?
We have 3 talented dressmakers.
Wow.
And they make new gowns every year.
And they actually are at every garden location, sort of hosting that.
Yes.
And they'll make appearances.
They'll make appearances just about every event throughout the festival. At least 1 or 2, or up to 10.
That's right.
So tickets are available for this event. They can also go to your site, the
Yes.
CapeFairGardenClub.org as well.
CapeFairGardenClub.org.
Right. And the ribbon cutting ceremonies, remember, are this coming Friday at 10 o'clock. We'll be broadcasting live on our sister radio station, Sunny 104.5. So you want to, if you can't get there, listen on the radio, and we'll kind of try to fill you in on all the activities that are going on. Hank, the festival is really a self-sustaining enterprise. It gets no government money.
Yeah, the revenue that comes in goes right back out to the projects that we actually put on, the garden clubs and all the events that take place. And it's roughly about $1 million that'll run through, but it goes right back out to keep this festival going.
You keep an account for startup for the following year.
Yeah. We'll use that money for the next year. So we don't get any government money. It's all sponsorships. We'll end up with $300,000 to $400,000 in sponsorship, ticket sales, and all that. And it's used to go right back to make sure this festival's run every year.
Talking about how the money's used, the money from the garden tour, it goes right back to the community as well.
Yes, it does. That goes back to the word unity. Our money goes back, that $20 ticket that people buy, it goes right back into the community.
In what form?
In the form of grants. And you can apply for the grants up until June the 15th.
And what kind of grants do you give, for example?
Beautification grants.
Okay, so if a group wants to do something in a public space, they could
apply
petition
for
a grant.
Yes.
From the Cape Fear Garden Club.
From the Cape Fear Garden Club. Mm-hmm.
There's estimates, Hank, about 250,000 people will participate in at least one event in one form or another, parade, street fair, concerts, etc. That's got to be a big shot in the arm.
It is a big shot. Yeah, and we also, what we wanted to do is to validate the attendance and the revenue, the economic effect that we have on this community. So we've asked Dr. Woody Hall and Stephen Meinhold to update the economic impact study that took place 20 years.
They're from the Cameron School of Business at UNCW.
Correct.
So you've asked them to
update. Dr. Woody Hall actually had an economic impact study performed at least 15, 20 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, and we thought it was time to get that updated. Their initial projections, just moving forward, estimating roughly $9 million effect on this community during the 4 or 5 days of it. Looking maybe roughly around 400,000 folks. that will come in,
400,000.
that will come in and be a part of this festival in one way or the other.
So at this point, what's your biggest concerns? Weather?
It's really
Maybe
the
we're getting
weather.
it out of the way.
Yeah, it's really the weather, and then it's the weather. That's about it.
That's it. It's an outdoor festival,
yeah,
isn't it?
that's what we do, you know. And it's the tradition of the festival is really what keeps this thing self-sustaining, along with the 1,400 volunteers. And it's this tradition that keeps it going.
Thank you so much. Hank Estep, President, Azalea Festival 2011. Gayle Ward,
Yes.
Chair of the Azalea Festival Garden Tour. Thanks for joining us as well.
My
Next
pleasure.
week, he turned a small group of worshipers into a mega church. His name is Pastor Mike Ashcroft, and he pastors the Port City Community Church. We'll hear about that phenomenon next week. I'm Don Ansel for Byline Wilmington. Have a great week.
Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Join us every Sunday morning as we explore the issues that concern you.